Welcome to our Carnival Magic ship tour from December 2019. I'm Chris from Cookley's Cruisin'. Before we get to the tour, here are some stats about the Carnival Magic. It's a Dream Class ship, and it made its maiden voyage May 1st of 2011. At 130,000 gross tons and 1,004 feet long, there are 14 passenger decks that are used by 3,690 passengers. Those passengers are taken care of by 1,367 crew. We had a fantastic time on the Carnival Magic, and you can see all of those videos on our channel. And now I would love to take you on a tour of the Carnival Magic. We are going to start the tour at the front of the ship. This is up on deck 15. This is the Serenity Deck, the adults only retreat. Serenity is a common deck on Carnival ships, and it's no different here on the Magic. The Magic also has a Serenity area, and as I said, it is adults only, so no children running around up here on these decks. And as we pass this hot tub here on the left, there are actually 2 hot tubs in the Serenity area, so adults only in those hot tubs, which is pretty nice. Coming back here towards the front of the ship, we're going to duck inside this little interior room here. And this is really just an access point to the Serenity Deck. So there's some stairs and an elevator. This is the only elevator that you can use to get into the Serenity Deck. And you can access that elevator from decks 11, 12, or 14. There is also a bar in Serenity if you would like a drink, which we did while we were seated up here. And speaking of seats, there are a variety of seats in this area. You have clamshells, which are very popular and can be difficult to find an open clamshell, particularly on sea days. There are also hammocks and sun loungers and padded benches that you can sit on. We didn't really have trouble finding seats most of the time. It just may not be a clamshell. Now, there is one thing to note about Serenity. There is no bathroom on the Serenity Deck. The closest bathroom will be inside that little room down a deck in the locker rooms in the Cloud9 Spa. It's also worth noting that deck 15 is the entrance to the water slides. Both of the big water slides in the Waterworks area, you can get to those slides from the Serenity Deck up here on deck 15. So there will be kids running up around this outside area. Dropping down a deck now, we just took those stairs down from deck 15 from the Serenity Deck. There's some seats around here with some tables if you want to sit around a little table, which is nice. We didn't see too many people sitting in those chairs, but they were pretty comfortable. We're going to duck inside this door here and enter the Cloud9 Spa. Now, this is not the main entrance for the Cloud9 Spa. This is just a little side entrance. But they have all of your typical spa things in the Cloud9 Spa. Got your steam baths and your salons. And there's a saltwater pool that you can soak in if you were to purchase a spa package that gives you access to that. It was a pretty nice area. I like the sconces on the walls with the lights. But we didn't spend really hardly any time in the spa. We're not cruisers that typically get the spa package or go for the massages or anything. So this walkthrough here is really the only time that I spent in the Cloud9 Spa. And you can see some sort of reclining room there, and there's the saltwater pool. And this room that I'm entering here is a VIP couples room. That's probably why that guy was staring at me a little bit strange. I don't think I was supposed to be in here, but I figured I would just take a quick peek in there for you. Here's a little desk. There were a lot of Carnival employees walking around the Cloud9 Spa, so that's good to see if you are somebody who is looking for a little pampering, a little massage, maybe a trip to the hair salon. There will probably be somebody that you can find to help you relatively easily. Now we're walking past a lot of the treatment rooms, the massage rooms, those sorts of things, any of the packages that you might buy in the spa, you'll probably find yourself in one of these rooms here. And this is on deck 14. And you can access this through that elevator that you saw on deck 15 in the Serenity.
Perfect.
And we just made a lap, and we're back to the hallway that we came in on. So now we're on deck 12, and this is also the Cloud9 Spa, deck 12 at the front of the ship. And this is the main reception area for the Cloud9 Spa. So if you come to Cloud9, you will probably come first through deck 12. And there are some large locker rooms that have saunas in them, which are pretty nice. And I don't believe you need to be in the spa package to use the saunas, though we never went in there. And this is also where the fitness center is. So if you are somebody who wants to come on a cruise and continue working out like you do at home, they have a fairly nice and well-stocked fitness center here on the Carnival Magic. There are certainly a lot of treadmills, as you can see, and they were not too busy, which you can also see at this time of day, which we're filming this tour in the morning. There's also some weights and some weight machines and some free weights if you would prefer to do that. So a pretty well-stocked fitness center here on the Magic. Definitely something that you should keep in mind if that is something that is important to you. So we'll take a little walk out of the fitness center, and we're going to head back towards the back of the ship and leave the Cloud9 Spa. You can see there's one of the locker rooms. There is the men's locker room. And we had already passed the women's locker room. So this here is one of the main elevator areas. There are 3 sort of main elevator places that you can catch an elevator on the ship. There's one at the front of the ship, in the back of the ship, and in the middle of the ship. And the front of the ship has those 3 elevators we just walked past that are the glass elevators that will take you down to the atrium. So coming outside through these doors here, I had to push a button, I didn't realize it, to open the door. We are in the Waterworks Waterpark area. There are some nice couches and chairs with some umbrellas for the parents or whoever wants to sit and watch the waterworks or just find a quiet place to sit. This was usually a little bit quieter than the Lido, though not quite so quiet because there are going to be children running around, yelling, having a good time. They're on vacation too. Waterworks, a lot of fun, not a lot of activity this early in the morning, but the 2 slides that you would catch on deck 15, those slides will empty down here on deck 12. And we're looking over the Lido, over the main pool there. There's a couple little slides here. Waterworks, pretty popular and a nice sized water park on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean if you really think about it. But lots of ways for the kids to have fun and play in the water without necessarily being in the pool. We're going to head back towards the back of the ship. You can see the whale tail funnel back there. And we're looking down on the deck 10, the Lido deck, and the main pool there. Deck 12 is a great spot if you want to come up and find a place to sit on a reclining sun lounger chair. There were usually a lot of chairs available on this deck and also down on deck 11, which we'll get to. So this is the blue jogging track. And I believe it was 7 laps around this track would make up a mile. And as you can see, the Carnival Magic also has a mini golf course. We played a couple games of mini golf, and that was a lot of fun. There are also other things to do in the sports deck. This is the main sports deck area. There's a bar there that I think opens. We never saw it open, but I'm pretty sure the bar opens. There's some foosball tables here and a pool table. And if you are feeling brave, there is also a ping pong table. Although why anybody tries to play ping pong in the open air when you're at sea is a little bit beyond me. It is way too windy to have any sort of successful ping pong game, but hey, people tried it, and I'm sure they had fun. So over here on this starboard side, I believe, of the sports deck, you will have to climb some stairs to play mini golf. There are 3 holes of mini golf that are up here. And this hole right here, this is the last hole of the game. And as you can see, you hit your ball down a pipe, and that brings you to the final green. There is also the high ropes course up here. You can walk the high ropes course, which is not something that we did. We thought that we would, but kind of just forgot about it. Kind of forgot it was up here. Really wanted to give it a try. There are a couple different difficulty levels on that high ropes course that you can try to do. And I think part of the reason we didn't do it was that they require you to wear sneakers or closed-toed shoes, and we just were not walking around the ship in those very often. So no flip-flops on the high ropes course, and that's usually what we had on our feet. There's the sports court bar, as I said, closed at this time in the morning, and I do think it opens up at some point, but we did not see it open on our cruise. And there's a view of the ocean there. We are on deck 12. This is pretty high up off of the water, but it is a beautiful view. You can see some Carnival employees there working to clean up some of the deck. Maybe some water got on the jogging track. And I'm getting passed by a couple people as they walk down the jogging track. You know, always a good idea, if you're just walking and you're not exercising, to try to stay out of the way of those people that are using it for exercise. It's just a polite thing to do, so stay over to one of the sides. And here is the basketball/volleyball court. Saw a couple organized games that were played on this court. It looks like people were having a lot of fun right now. Maybe just a little free shooting. Back here on deck 12, there are some other fitness equipment as well. There's a foosball table there, and maybe some body weight equipment. We're gonna look over deck 10 here. This is the back of the ship, the back pool on the ship. A couple hot tubs down there. Coming around the side of the jogging track, here's the fitness equipment. Never saw anybody using this, but I'm sure people do, and I'm sure they have a good time. But we never saw anybody actually using this fitness equipment on our cruise. So nice sized basketball court, and of course they have the netting to keep the balls on the ship, which is obviously important. Don't want to be losing any basketballs in the ocean or having them drop down on any of the lower decks. I think we're going to continue walking on this jogging track just a few more minutes and bring it back to the sports square, the sports court. And we will have just about completed 1 lap of the track. And as I said, I believe it is 7 laps that make up a mile on that track. So here we are back at the sports square. And we are now down on deck 11 overlooking the tides pool in the back of the ship. Deck 11 is almost exclusively for seating, and we'll see quite a bit more of that in just a minute. It's basically a mirror image on both sides of the ship, so there are chairs on the port side, there's chairs on the starboard side. You can see the chairs with the little tables there. A very comfortable place to be if you want to just hang out, you're looking for a quiet spot. That guy was reading there. But before we walk down the side of the ship, we are going to go inside, and I have to press this automatic button here that I did not realize at first. And inside deck 11 here is the entrance to Cucina del Capitano, which is the Italian restaurant on the Carnival Magic. And the Italian restaurant is free for lunch, but it does cost extra for dinner. On our cruise, it was $15 per person for dinner, but as I said, free for lunch. I do believe they have different menus for lunch and dinner. Lunch is more of a build your own bowl sort of affair where you pick your meats and you pick your noodles and your sauces, and then they mix it all up and cook it in a bowl for you. It was quite delicious. We came back twice to the Italian restaurant for lunch because it was so good. I think the dinner menu is more of a traditional sort of pick a dish style menu. So we came in through deck 11. There is another way to get into the restaurant, and it is down those stairs into the Lido Buffet. That's on deck 10, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. We really liked the decor in this restaurant. We really liked how it looked, the atmosphere. The wait staff was fantastic, as they are pretty much everywhere on the ship. But yeah, here's another look at those stairs. So you can come right up the stairs and you will be greeted by a host or a hostess who will then take care of you and get you seated, get you situated. Really, really good option for lunch if you are tired of the buffet or you've had far too many guys burgers for one trip. Definitely come check out the Italian restaurant on the Carnival Magic. So we'll head back out here, and that is the Tides pool in the back of the ship on deck 10. We'll get to that in just a little bit. And we are going to walk down the starboard side of the ship. Now, this side of the ship is the side that will allow you to smoke. So if you are a smoker, keep that in mind. You're going to want to sit on the starboard side of the ship. There's plenty of lounge chairs up here on both sides. It is a very quiet part of the ship and definitely one of my favorites. I would come up here in the evening with a drink and just sit and watch the water and the sunset. You're away from the loud noises on the Lido Deck and at the Tides pool. Now walking here on my left up here, maybe even right here, is the Camp Ocean, and I didn't realize it when I was filming. I did not stop in there. I didn't know it was on deck 11, but you can take your younger kids there for childcare. Actually, I think it might be in here with these black windows. So Camp Ocean on deck 11 here on the left. And would you look at all of those chairs? So many places to sit on deck 11. A really, truly relaxing spot on the ship. Coming up towards the middle of the ship, towards the main pool, if you are on the Lido Deck, there are some covered seating options, lots of chairs and tables. And again, this is the smoking side of the ship. The other side, the port side, is not smoking. Overlooking the Lido pool there. So a lot of people will come up here, and it's a relaxing place to be. Get you a drink, find you a chair. Whether you want to be in the sun, whether you want to be in the shade, you will almost certainly find somewhere to relax on this deck. There's even some couches, as you can see. Somebody's laying down on a couch. We'll take a moment to pop over to the port side of the ship just so you can see that it's basically the same thing over on this side. Chairs running down the entire length of the ship. They're mirror images of each other. So this side, again, not smoking on the port side of the ship, smoking on the starboard side of the ship. You can see some of those couches there overlooking the Lido Deck. And we'll take a couple steps down here, come inside, and this is where you would catch an elevator. These are the elevators at the front of the ship now. on deck 11. And there are also some staterooms on deck 11. So forward of this, forward of the elevators, you can find some staterooms, which you can see there. Not too many on this deck, just up on this side in the front of the ship. All right, here we are on the Lido deck. This is deck 10, and it is by far one of the busiest 2 decks on the ship, the other being the Promenade deck, deck 5. But Lido, deck 10, probably the busiest on the ship. And you can look down and see the Magic Atrium here. We are at the front of the ship. We will be heading back. Yep, you can look down. Look at those glass elevators that you can see too. Those are a lot of fun. We rode those quite a few times. So we're heading back towards the back of the ship. There's a little fun hub station there, and always somebody from the Cloud9 Spa trying to have you sign up for a massage if that's what you want. But coming out through the doors here, this is the main pool, the main area on the Lido. A lot of people hang out here. This is a very crowded, very loud, very busy section of the ship. People sunbathing, having a good time. And there are 4 main sort of food and drink establishments in this section of the Lido. We've got the Blue Iguana Tequila Bar. If you like tequila drinks, this could be the spot for you. They have a wide menu, a lot of options that you can choose from. And we had a couple drinks from the bar. It wasn't really for us. We do like tequila, but for whatever reason, the drinks at the Blue Iguana didn't really hit the nail on the head for us. You may love them. A lot of people do. It was a very popular bar. Coming across the deck to the other side here, we have the Red Frog Rum Bar. Now this was more our speed on the ship. We got a lot of drinks here, particularly of the frozen Miami Vice Strawberry Daiquiri Pina Colada variety. Very, very delicious and included with your Cheers package should you buy that, which we did. There's some seating over here under a covering if you'd like to get out of the shade. This was usually pretty crowded, particularly around meal times. It was kind of hard to get a seat there, but you are just outside of the door of the Lido Buffet if you want to see. And there's a look at the main pool. Some cool seats in a shallower area around some little tables that you can keep your feet wet if you don't want to get all the way in. A lot of people really enjoyed the main pool area on the Magic. And this, of course, is the famous Guy's Burger joint. Probably, without exaggeration, one of the best burgers that you can have anywhere. And it is included with your cruise. And outside of the Guy's Burger joint, there is a toppings bar. Not set up currently because it is breakfast, but they have things like onions and mushrooms and bacon and pickles and that sort of thing. Now, it's important to note that on this wall here to my left that we're walking past, there are some bathrooms. There are only 2 sets of bathrooms on this ship, one right here, and then the other just inside the door by the Tides pool. Bathrooms are hard to find on the Magic, or at least they were for us, so it's good to know where these are. This is the 4th establishment on this deck. This is the Blue Iguana Cantina. And it's breakfast time, so they have some huevos rancheros there that you can get, as well as some breakfast burritos, another free option included with your cruise. And the food was quite good from the Blue Iguana Cantina. I did get a couple breakfast burritos on the cruise, and they were very tasty. There's also a toppings bar out here for your burritos and for your tacos, just like there is for the Guy's Burgers, but these are obviously more of the burrito toppings variety. And you can see some more seating, some more tables and chairs over down this side of the ship. Here is one of the drink stations included with your cruise. Free coffees, juices, waters, and teas. And we have just stepped inside of the Lido Buffet. So you can see there are a lot of people in here. eating breakfast, and somebody's having some ice cream. A little early in the morning for that maybe, but available 24 hours a day. No judgment. You are on a cruise. Very, very good Swirls ice cream there. So this is one side of the Lido Buffet, obviously set up for breakfast. This is the Mongolian Walk when it is lunch or dinner time. Right now it is an Omelet Station, and just take a look at this line. It is quite a long line, people waiting for an omelet. Keep that in mind. Here's the other side of the Lido Buffet. Breakfast, got some pastries, some rolls there. They have a lot of breakfast items, all of the standards: eggs, bacon, sausages, pancakes, cereals. And here's another Swirls. Another Swirls on the other side. So, as I said, take a look at how many people are waiting in line for this food, and you'll understand why in just a minute. Lots of people. This is quite crowded over on this side of the Lido Buffet. But the food is good in the breakfast buffet. Oh, there's some cereal if you're looking for that. If you don't want to eat in the main dining room for breakfast, which is open, I think it might just be open on C days for breakfast, for brunch, the Lido Buffet is one of your only options. Here's the line coming around the other side. Lots of seating, as I said. It's a big buffet area. But we are going to take a walk towards the back of the ship. And note, we're still in the Lido Buffet. This is still the Lido. But you will see something here in just a minute if you'll hang with me for a second as we walk down the Magic, down the side of the ship here. There are actually two sections in the Lido Buffet. So this is the back side of the Lido Buffet. It has all the same food, but hardly half the people. So keep that in mind if you are going to eat breakfast in the Lido Buffet. Continue walking back towards the ship. You can take a look at this Omelet Line. Do you remember the Omelet Line from a few minutes ago? There were probably 10 or 20 people waiting in that line. There's two in the back at that Omelet Line. Same food, same omelets, but nobody seems to keep walking back. I think a lot of people come up the elevators by the pool, they walk into the buffet, they see the food, and they get in line, not realizing that maybe the buffet continues further back. Now, lunch is a little bit different. The different areas of the Lido Buffet will have different food, so you might want to walk around the entire buffet if you're looking for lunch, and you can see what's there. So we're going to head outside the ship now, outside towards the back of the pool. We're heading towards the Tides Bar at the back. And you can see that we have this seafood shack. This is a new addition, new-ish addition on the Carnival Magic. This used to be Tandoori, I believe it was called. It used to be an Indian restaurant that was included with your food. Now included with your cruise. Now it is the seafood shack. And as you can see, the menu does cost. This is an extra charge restaurant. So we never actually made it to the seafood shack, never had any of the food from there, but it looked pretty good the few times that we saw people getting something from there: clam chowder, lobster, fried shrimps, that sort of thing. Now here we are out by the Tides pool that we've been seeing from up above on decks 11 and deck 12. There are two hot tubs back here and a small pool. On some of the ships, this back pool is adults only, but not on the Magic, so expect to share the waters with some kids who may be splashing. There are quite a few chairs out here, but they are almost always taken. It is a very popular spot to sunbathe. Here we come up to the Tides Bar. Not usually very crowded, and as you can see, open early for breakfast if you want a screwdriver or a tequila sunrise to start your day. And this is one of my absolute favorite spots, the Pizzeria Del Capitano, open 24 hours a day. The pizza is actually very good if you like a thin crust. They usually have a couple options, hot and ready, unless they have been overrun, which can happen, or it's very early like it is now. Now, one of the cool things on the Magic and on other Carnival ships is using the Carnival Hub app, you can order pizza to be delivered to any spot on the ship. Pizza is free if you walk back to the restaurant and pick it up, or there is a $5 charge to have it delivered. Sometimes we would order pizza to the Alchemy Bar at the end of the night, and that was always a lot of fun. We are going to take a quick stop on Deck 7. This is the Empress deck, and there's something that I wanted to show you. Deck 7 is staterooms only, but we are going to walk towards the front of the ship. And this is actually the deck that Sarah and I stayed on while we cruised. So we'll speed things up just a little bit as we walk towards the front of the ship. You can see here, 7228. This was our cabin. Cookley's Cruising. Happy holidays. It was a December cruise after all. This is one of our room stewards. Fantastic guy. They always do such a great job cleaning the rooms. So if you walk forward on Deck 7 and 6, possibly 5, you will have to go through these double doors here. It's sort of an airlock to keep the wind from blowing too hard down the hallway. But there is an observation deck on the front of Deck 7. Now, most people don't know that this deck is here, don't come out here very often. There's no sun chairs or anything. There are a couple benches if you want to sit and watch the water go by. And it is very windy out on the front of the ship, particularly when the ship is moving like it is now, but it is a very, very cool view out of the front of the ship. And we would regularly come out here after we docked to see the islands. And there's a view of the bridge right above you, extending across, all the way across the ship. And then the bench, if you want to sit down. Like I said, it was very rare that we saw somebody out here on this deck with us. Maybe a couple times there would be people out here, but not very frequently. There are stairways that will lead down and connect to the lower decks, so you can get to Deck 6 and Deck 5 out here. It's just a really cool spot to check out, and you absolutely should if you're on the Magic. All right, Deck 5, the Promenade deck. This is the deck that we spent most of our time. There are no staterooms on Deck 5 or Decks 3 or 4, which we'll get to in a minute. And looking back, you can see behind us, we just passed the doors to the Showtime Theater, which are closed right now. Deck 5 has all of your fun shops, so you can get your Carnival souvenirs, hats, shirts, jewelry, duty-free alcohol. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of necessities. If you forgot your sunglasses, maybe. Outside of Deck 5, you can see they have the 2 for $20 t-shirt sale going on right now. Popular all the time. They always have little sales and things like that just outside of these fun shops. Here's Cherry on Top. Cherry on Top has all of your sugar needs if you need some candy. They also sell water sport supplies like snorkels and... well, I don't know if they actually sell snorkels, but they sell sunscreen and that sort of thing. Looking down into the Magic Atrium there, you can see the Christmas tree. And coming over to this side of the fun shops, there is an Invicta watch sale going on right now. And here's the perfume and jewelry shop. So you can get your perfumes or your necklaces, your earrings, that sort of thing if you are looking for that on the ship. It looks like they were giving out free mimosas, which I unfortunately did not partake in. Coming down this side of the jewelry shop here is the watches area. All kinds of fancy watches and watch brands that you can purchase on the ship. Whether they are a good deal or not, I don't know. They like to make you think that they're a good deal while you're on the ship. They really do a good job of getting you excited about buying a watch. And I'm sure that they sell enough of them, but I couldn't tell you whether or not you actually got a bargain. Here we are back again, coming over to the Showtime Theater. So we made a big U around the Magic Atrium. Now we're back all the way at the front of the ship, and you can see the doors on this side at least are open. So here is a look at the Showtime Theater from up on Deck 5. Deck 5 provides access to the upper level of the seats. The stage of the Showtime Theater is down on Deck 3. So it's a good sized theater here. This is where they do a lot of the shows, a lot of the productions on the ship. Now we'll head back towards the back of the ship, working our way down Deck 5, back past the fun shops, back past the t-shirts and the Invicta watch sale, back past the Magic Atrium. And this, if you can't tell, is the casino. Carnival Magic has a hat trick casino on board. They have all of your slots, tables, and skill machines that you could possibly want to play. And of course, the casino bar. Casino bar is one of the longest open bars on the ship. So I think it opens probably one of the earliest times, and it's one of the last bars to close. Did not spend a whole lot of time in the casino. One thing to keep in mind is that you have to walk through the casino if you're on Deck 5 and you want to get from the front of the ship to the back of the ship, unless you go outside. And it is a smoking casino. So if you don't want to deal with the smoke, you're going to have to go up or down a deck in order to get past the casino. This is the Ocean Plaza on the other side of the casino. And we spent a lot of time here in the Ocean Plaza. This is sort of the heart of the ship, or maybe it felt like that because we spent most of our time here. This is the coffee shop, and it was actually quite delicious. They had some pretty good coffee. It does cost extra unless you are on the Cheers package. Coffee is included at that point. This is a little deli. They would set out snacks and things in the afternoons. And the Alchemy Bar, by far our favorite bar on the cruise ship. It is a truly wonderful, wonderful bar. Wonderful drinks, great bartenders. And if you watch our cruise vlog videos, you'll see we spent a lot of time there. This area is also where trivia happened. Right now it looks like they were doing some Michael's Crafts. And we're moving back towards the Red Frog Pub. You can see that there are some foosball tables and a shuffleboard table. Those were pretty popular. People would gather around with some drinks at night and play some games. And this is the Red Frog Pub. There's a lot of comfortable seating in this pub. It was pretty crowded. This is kind of the place to go if you want to get a nicer beer. They have some of their Carnival specific brewed beers here, so you can get your red ales and your IPAs. There's a little stage there. They would do some karaoke. They had some singer-songwriters playing. The Red Frog Pub is also a place that you can order up some bar food. Now, the bar food does cost extra, but it looked very delicious and prices were pretty reasonable, usually in the $2 to $4 range for an appetizer type of a dish. This is Sushi at Sea. When we came on the Magic, we did not realize there would be a sushi restaurant. They had not updated the maps yet, so we were very pleased to see a Sushi at Sea on the restaurant, or on the ship, and it was quite good. We got a couple rolls. Let's take a look at this staircase. Keep an eye on that and remember it, and we'll come back to that in just a little bit. Remember that we are in the middle of Deck 5, right by the Red Frog Pub, and the sushi and the coffee shop was just back there as well. This is the Vibe Nightclub. The Vibe Nightclub right next to the Red Frog Pub. And there was a lot of activity in here. It got pretty busy at night. It was a lot of fun. We did come to the Vibe nightclub at least one night while we were on the ship, and we had a really great time. So if you are a nightclub type of person and you want to go dancing, this is the place to do it. They turn the lights off. They have the laser lights, the show lights going, a DJ playing some of the new hits and the dance music. It was quite a lot of fun. It was a good time. Just past the Vibe nightclub, we are coming up on the Play It Again piano bar. Now, we didn't spend too much time here, but the crowd that was in the piano bar most nights really seemed to have a good connection with the piano man, which is something that you want. The engagement at a piano bar is really what makes a piano bar exciting, and the piano man and this piano bar seemed to get the crowd involved. It's a nice looking piano bar. Comfortable seating, comfortable tables, and there's a little bar in the piano bar itself, which obviously helps with getting drinks quickly. We're looking back here at the Spotlight Lounge. The Spotlight Lounge is where the comedy shows happen. So we came in here several times during our cruise, caught some comedy shows, which were always hilarious, a really good time. And Spotlight Lounge is a very comfortable room to be in. As you can see, there's a bar in the Spotlight Lounge set up for breakfast right now. And I think this was actually a private event that I was not invited to, so I didn't hang around too long in the Spotlight Lounge, kind of worked my way out really quick, but you can see how nice it is in here. Now, the really popular comedy shows will fill up, so you want to get there pretty early, maybe 20 minutes before the show if you really need to get a seat. Otherwise, it is standing room only at the back of the room for the popular shows. Now, just next to the Spotlight Lounge is the Prime Steakhouse. This is a extra cost restaurant, and we've never been, but have heard good things about the steakhouse. I think it's fairly reasonable, maybe $35 per person for dinner here. But as I said, haven't been before, but it looks pretty good. And the atmosphere in the steakhouse also looks pretty nice. You can see they are preparing the silverware for service later that evening. They've got the nice Christmas tree there, decoration for the holiday seasons. Also good to know that there are some bathrooms right by the stairs there, coming out of the Play It Again piano bar, right by the steakhouse and the Spotlight Lounge. So always good to know where the bathrooms are on the Carnival Magic, because they can be hard to find. Heading back towards the front of the ship now. Here we are on our way past the Red Frog Pub, past the Sushi at Sea, past the staircase that I told you to pay attention to, past the coffee shop, and past this beautiful gingerbread village that the chefs on the Carnival Magic had set up and assembled. Up there's the coffee shop and the Plaza Cafe. We're gonna step outside here onto one of these lanais. Now, there are 4 hot tubs on deck 5. They are closed at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what time they open. Oh no, they're not closed. There's people in there. Okay, I was wrong. One of the important things that you should know on deck 5 is that the Pig and Anchor, Guy's Pig and Anchor Barbecue, is here on deck 5, and it is only accessible from the outside. There is no way to get to the Pig and Anchor from the inside. You won't see any signs for it. So deck 5 outside of the ship. It is only open on embarkation day and sea days, and it is absolutely delicious. So I definitely recommend that you check it out. but just be aware that it is only open on those days, as I said, embarkation and sea days. Now, most people don't know it's open on embarkation day, so the line is very short, if there is a line at all. And that's the day that we went, and that's the day that I would recommend that you go as well, because it can get very crowded on sea days once people realize what it is and where it is. So we're going to come back inside real quick, walk across the Ocean Plaza here to another lanai area, past the Alchemy Bar. Missed that place. Fantastic bar. Definitely something that you should check out if you like mixed cocktails. To this lanai out here with another hot tub. As I said, there are 4 hot tubs on deck 5. But I wanted to come out here and show you this side of the ship, because this side of the ship has the Red Frog pub, and there's some nice seating outside for the Red Frog pub as well. So inside, very comfortable. You can listen to the karaoke. They had speakers piping the music out here as well if you wanted to sit outside under these palm tree umbrellas with the palm trees here. Really nice atmosphere outside of the Red Frog pub that extends inside. So definitely a relaxing place to be. A lot of fun there. You can see here we are right back inside the pub. There's the stage. And there's the bar. The Red Frog pub, incidentally, has a embarkation day special. You can get fish bowls there, half price. That should just about do it for Deck 5, the Promenade Deck. Here we are on Deck 4 by the Showtime Theater at the front of the ship. We jumped around just a little bit. We're going to turn around and head back towards the atrium. You can walk around the atrium. There is a very large pixels gallery on the Carnival Magic. Now, a lot of ships have gone entirely to digital, where they won't print your photos out anymore. And the Magic does have some of those stations where you can find yourself digitally, but as you can see, they are still printing quite a few pictures out and posting them on the walls for you to find yourself. Always kind of fun to find yourself printed out on the walls. Oh, and there's one of the beautiful staircases that'll take you up to Deck 5 or down to Deck 3. This is the Northern Lights dining room, which we will take a look at in just a little bit. This is the top side of it. And this right here, what we're entering, is the Books and Games room. So not a library anymore, but books and games. A lot of board games that you can play with your family. Small room, but comfortable and well used. So you can look back there. That is the Magic Atrium back that way with the Pixels Gallery. And this is a little side passage down Deck 4. Looking in on the Northern Lights dining room. They do have that frosted glass. If you do get seated by the windows here, people won't be looking over your shoulder as you eat, which would be a little bit uncomfortable. But walking past the Northern Lights, down this side passageway towards the back of the ship, there are some bathrooms here as well on this passage. And further back on Deck 4, there is also a conference center, should you need to use a conference room. If you are cruising with a group of people or a business, perhaps, you would want to have a conference room for some meetings. They actually have a couple of conference centers on Deck 4, although this one seemed to always be full of art that they used as an art auction area. Now, Deck 4 also has a fun hub you can get online here, use some computers. Not a very well-known fun hub, so keep that in mind if you need a computer, and all of the normal ones are full. you can always come down to deck 4 and find a computer here. Now this is that staircase that I told you to remember back on deck 5. It comes down right to deck 4, right in the middle of the Northern Lights and the Southern Lights dining room, which we are heading towards right now. So if you need to get from deck 5 to deck 4 for whatever reason, that staircase is there. You don't have to go all the way to the front or the back of the ship. Here are some of the kids clubs. We have the Circle C, one of the Carnival Magic kids clubs, and I don't quite know the age range on this, but I think it's in the preteen area. And then Club 02, ages 15 to 17, I saw on the door there. Club 02, you can take your kids here, foosball, some comfortable couches. Looks like a very fun place to hang out. Obviously, I did not spend any time in here during the day other than this video, but looks like a great place to be. And I saw a big screen TV. I'm sure they have some video games there as well. So further back on deck 4, you can see the sign there. We are heading towards the Southern Lights dining room as well as the warehouse. We're going to go to the warehouse first. We'll be there in just a minute, coming around these stairs here. This is one of the elevators, the back elevators. So coming all the way around to the port side of the ship on deck 4, there is the warehouse, which is the arcade. They've got some fun games that you can play in here, some prizes that you can win. They have all kinds of different games. They've got the claw games that we just walked past. And as you can see, there is a direct entrance from Club 02 into the warehouse. So if your kid is in Club 02 and they want to come play in the arcade, that is certainly possible. Possibly keep in mind that these games are not free. They do cost money, so I think you can put limits on their ship cards as to how much they can spend in here, but something that you would probably want to confirm before they had free access to the arcade. It did feel a little bit cramped. Everything is kind of close together. They did manage to fit a lot of games in this space. So it was fun. We did come down here once while we were cruising. They had a half off hour, they called it. So we came down here and played some games for an hour, mostly skee ball. That's kind of the game that we like to play. Won some tickets, won some prizes. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. So that is the warehouse, the arcade on the Carnival Magic. Now we're going to head back down around this corner to the Southern Lights dining room. Oh, there's another entrance to Club 02. Lots of ways to get in and out of Club 02, apparently. So this is the Southern Lights dining room, Southern Lights restaurant, one of the two main dining rooms on the ship, the other being the Northern Lights. Southern Lights, as you might guess, is further back on the ship. It is actually at the very back of the ship. Now, both dining rooms are 2 levels. So we are up on the 2nd level of the Southern Lights restaurant right now. And the 2nd level is not actually in use. They're not seating anybody back here. So I thought I would walk back and show you what the view looks like out of these back windows here. And what a view it is. Very cool to see all of that water churning in the wake that this ship leaves. Obviously, you know it's a big ship and it's moving quick, but seeing all of that water getting propelled like that really kind of brings into focus just how big these ships are and how much power they have behind them. So we're not really supposed to be up here right now. They're not seating anybody. They're actually getting it ready for lunch, I think. So we're going to head out of this area, and we'll drop down here to deck 3. Still back on the Southern Lights restaurant, but this is deck 3. This is how you would actually get into the Southern Lights if you were going to eat here. You can see people there were waiting in line to get a table for their breakfast or their sea day brunch. And we won't walk through there because people are eating, but it's more of the same. Now, one thing to note is that there is no direct access to the Southern Lights from Deck 3, other than taking these stairs or taking an elevator. Deck 3, between the Southern Lights and the Northern Lights dining rooms, is the Galley. It takes up the entire width of the ship. There's no alleyway or hallway to get you there, so you have to take an elevator or the stairs from Deck 4 or from one of the decks above the Southern Lights dining room. Here we are on Deck 3. We jumped ahead. We are now in the Northern Lights dining room. So we're in the middle of the ship. This is where we actually ate dinner almost every night. And you'll see in a second here, they're doing the very popular Dr. Seuss breakfast. Now, the Northern Lights dining room, typically where you will eat if you are doing the My Time dining. Southern Lights, you're more likely to eat there if you are having the arranged seating. So Dr. Seuss breakfast going on in the Northern Lights right now, very popular with family and kids. They have the Dr. Seuss characters coming out, green eggs and ham, that whole thing. It's a lot of fun for the families that participate in that. Yep, you can see the Grinch there getting some pictures taken. So coming out of the Northern Lights dining room, we are here in the main atrium. And there's the, walking around here is the Atrium Bar right in the middle. And there's a lot of seating here that you can rest. And there's that pretty Christmas tree. This is a Christmas cruise after all. December cruise in one of the glass elevators going down. Looking all the way up out through the top of the atrium. Quite a beautiful sight there. Very well decorated. We really liked how the atrium looked. Now, there are a couple of guest service type areas here on Deck 3. This one is the Carnival Adventures desk, shore excursions, if you need to book your shore excursion. And we're going to walk across the atrium to the guest services desk. Now, I want to point something out that you may find important because we certainly did. Take a look at this line. See how long this line is for guest services? It gets like that fairly regularly. But over to the side here, you've got another line for Diamond, Platinum, and Faster to the Fun guests. Now, if you don't know, Faster to the Fun is a one-time fee per stateroom. It was like $100 for our 8-day cruise, and it provides several perks that are well worth it, such as that exclusive guest services line. Definitely something to keep in mind and to check out. So moving on, here we are at the Showtime Theater. This is the main area, main deck of the Showtime Theater. The stage is on this deck, and it's a very comfortable theater. Lots of really good shows that you can watch from here. I think they're doing a disembarkation informational show or talk at that point in the theater right there. So we are heading back to the atrium, and that'll just about do it for our ship tour. The rest of the ship that we didn't cover is staterooms. Not really much else to see on the ship. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that you found this helpful, and please leave a comment below if you have taken or will take a cruise on the Carnival Magic. We had a wonderful cruise on the Magic, and we would certainly book again on this ship.